Hello and welcome in live here from the Eagles Nest. I'm Cody Wagner here alongside Don Murphy to bring you this wrestling action between your St. Edward Eagles and the Falcons of St. Paris Graham. And Don, when you speak about wrestling rivalries in the state of Ohio, it doesn't get much bigger than this.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Cody. This rivalry's been going on a long time. St. Paris Graham has been absolutely dominant in Division II wrestling for almost 2 decades. So it's always great when these two teams get together. We see some great matchups, some great matches, and today will be no different. We'll have some great matchups and a lot of entertaining wrestling going on.
And let's take a moment to speak about that St. Paris Graham team. This year, 4-0 in duels thus far. Their biggest win that I've seen was that win against Division I runner-up in the duels last year, Brecksville Broadview Heights. They defeated them by a score of 51-20, which is an absolutely massive win.
Yeah, it definitely shows the depth of St. Paris, and they'll always wrestle anybody and everybody. They'll wrestle the best teams. They've got a great philosophy, wrestle the best to be the best, and that's why we're here this afternoon at St. Ed's to see a great duel match between St. Paris and St. Edward.
And you speak about the caliber of these teams. St. Paris Graham won 21 consecutive Division II state wrestling championships in a row. Meanwhile, the Eagles have won 22 of the last 25 Ohio Division I state wrestling championships. It's just such an interesting matchup. You look down this bout sheet today. Do any matchups pop out to you?
Well, I think the one that might match up, and we'll see how it goes, will be Gunnar Gramblett wrestling Ty Miller or J.R. Miller. Gunnar was a state runner-up, and he was also 6th in the Ironman tournament. So however that matchup goes, whether he wrestles Ty or J.R. Miller, that's going to be a great wrestling match. But they also have some other state place winners in there. At 132, they're going to have Brogan Tucker, a state champ. He'll be wrestling Jacob Keel. That'll be an interesting matchup. And then 138, Hayden Hughes, a state qualifier, will be going up against Ryan Bennett, who was a 2-time state placer, state champ in 21 and 4th in 22. So that'll be a good match. And then, of course, at 157, state place winner for St. Paris Graham, Luke James, will be matched up against Bobby Hopkins, who is a district qualifier.
And in matches like these, those bonus points are so necessary. And
they certainly are. And I think we're getting ready.
We'll take a moment here for the national anthem. So I had mentioned the importance of bonus points here in this match, and I think that one of those matchups for St. Paris Graham, they're going to want to try and get bonus points out of is their state champ Brogan Tucker against Jacob Kyle, who's wrestling in place of Cade Brown today.
Yes, that would present an opportunity for St. Paris. I haven't seen Jake Russell. He's a freshman, so he's only been in the room for a couple months, but we know that at St. Ed's, there's a lot of really good freshmen that come into this program. So I'm sure he'll get out there. He's on the gold team. He'll battle hard.
And an opportunity for bonus points on the other side for the Eagles. I think one of the biggest ones you're going to see is in this first match with Ethan Timar at 106 pounds for the Eagles.
Yes, definitely. They'll do the flip of the coin here, and we'll see Zach Del Santo out there, and is that Ryan Bennett too?
Ryan Bennett as well out there for the Eagles.
So early in the lower weights and in the very high weights, there might be some opportunities for the Eagles with bonus points. We'll see how that develops. We'll see how it starts out. I don't know if they're going to start out at 106 or if they picked a different weight to start this match at.
And you mentioned Zach Del Santo out there for that opening coin flip. You see him in the sling. He will not be active here today for the Eagles. And instead at 215 pounds, you will get Balin Wah for the Eagles. And that's potentially a big missing piece today for the Eagles.
Yeah, it certainly is, with Zach being out of the lineup right now. And Balin's another one of those football players that played football all the way till December 5th, and now has finally got back on the mat. So it looks like Ethan Timar is going to be matched up against Jake Landis, the freshman and from St. Paris Graham.
Ethan Timar, a sophomore for the Eagles, wrestled behind Adam Butler last season, but Timar has appeared very skilled so far this year. Took 5th place at the Powerade tournament in Pennsylvania, 4th place at Ironman, and he's already on that front headlock working for a takedown 10 seconds into this match.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to slide around behind. Yeah, he does.
Now
gets the legs in.
Able to secure the takedown for 2 is Timar, up 2-0 about 30 seconds into this match. And he'll allow Landis back up to the feet for the escape point, 2-1 Timar.
Yeah,
Timar already diving in on the leg once again. High pace from Timar early.
Yeah, very, very good low single leg shot. Nice little shuck there. He's behind. Wow.
Now looking for back points is Timar. Timar up 6-2 already. He's going to get the 3 points rather there, and he will be up 9-2. Wrestlers reset back into the center.
Yeah, really nice little shuck to get behind and right into a tilt with that last 5-point move. And we already see another takedown. Timar's just really getting after it right now.
Timar now up 11-3 with that escape point awarded to Landis. 50 seconds remain in this first period. Another takedown from Timar. Just absolutely relentless in this bout thus far from Timar. Up 13-4, Timar looking for this takedown. He secures it. Now score pushed to 15-4.
Yeah, that was a nice fireman carry attempt. It was blocked, and Timar went around into a double and was able to go behind for the takedown.
And Timar already in a situation for bonus points, trying to push this possibly to a technical fall. Really wants to look for if he can secure the fall, but if he's unable to do so, hopefully able to come up with the technical fall. Up 11 as we head into the second period of action.
Wow, what a first period for Ethan Timar, man. He just went after it. 6 takedowns.
Yep, 6 takedowns there, and then the 3 back points for Timar has him up 15-4, already in on another takedown. 17-4 Timar.
And he's got the bar in, so he's trying to turn him. Ooh.
And that's working well for Timar. We'll see if he can come up with the fall. He finds it. Ethan Timar starts this match off for the Eagles, puts them up 6-0 early.
Yeah, he ran that bar real nice, and at 2:21 in the match, he records the fall for the Eagles.
So Eagles go up early, 6-0, and next up for the Eagles, it'll be Carson Brown, the freshman, at 113 pounds.
So I think the scoreboard's got Baden Root up, but from the weigh-in sheets, I think he's wrestling Harbor Price, a freshman.
As Brown now already got secured a takedown and lets him back to the feet. Carson Brown up 2-1 early. Now secures another takedown up 4-1 just 20 seconds into this match.
Yeah, Harbor Price is a pretty small 113-pounder. He weighed in at 101 pounds, so Caden definitely has the size on him, and looks like he's going after him just like Timar went after his opponent from Graham High School.
This seems to be the strategy, at least in these lower weight classes from the Eagles, is active early in these matches. As he looks for the turn now is Carson Brown. Brown's going to get the 5 count, so he'll be rewarded 3 points when the wrestler bellies out. So Brown now up 8-3 as he's already in on another takedown. Carson Brown extends that lead to 10-3, and now he's looking for the fall here. He's got it very close, and he secures the fall. Carson Brown putting the Eagles up 12-0 here early in the Eagles' nest. Eagles dominance early.
Yeah, minute 15 into the first period. The Eagles get their second fall in the second weight class.
So that will push the Eagles' lead to 12-0, and an encouraging sign here early as now coming onto the map for the Eagles will be Adam Butler. A state runner-up at 106 pounds last year was Butler and took 7th place at the Powerade tournament. This is a high-level wrestler for the Eagles and a really gritty wrestler. We'll see if he can secure a fall here in this match against Colton Taylor of St. Paris Graham.
I think they've got Elijah Rowe up there on the scoreboard. We know that they weighed in 3 people at 120. Butler on the single already.
And he takes Rowe down here early. Adam Butler already up 2-0, and he's now got this turn. Looking for the fall. He secures it. Adam Butler putting the Eagles up 18-0. He's hyped up after that fall in just 25 seconds. The Eagles perfect thus far.
Yeah, pretty quick. I was going over the bout sheets before kind of missed most of the match. Adam got out there and got after it.
And now we'll move on to 126 pounds. It'll be Joe Sandifer for the Eagles, and it will be Colt Ryan here for the Falcons. Sandifer for the Eagles wrestled on the green team last year, but in that quad meet earlier this season, earlier in December, he was able to beat a state qualifier from Maslin Perry. So a green wrestler last year, but Joe Sandifer is high level.
Yeah, it's already got a takedown. It looks like he's going to push up. I thought he was going to push him out, but he went for an inside cradle. But, yeah, now he's given the 1 point. And
already trying to secure another takedown. Almost able to get him to the back, but not quite able to secure the position. But he does get the takedown up 4-1.
Right. And he's got a bar in, so we'll see if he can run that bar, although they're right on the edge of the mat. Gave that up.
And now they'll reset the wrestlers back to the center. Do you think he potentially didn't run that bar over to that side because he would have run out of mat space?
I think he was going to run out of mat space, and he saw where he could not take advantage of the bar he had.
So Sandifer now on top here, up 4-1, about a minute into this fourth match. of the afternoon. Sandifer will allow Ryan back to the feet. Score now 4-2. Now Sandifer working that underhook, ducks under on the double leg. Nice takedown. We'll see if he's able to secure it.
Yeah, he's doing all the right things to score points there. He's got the leg hook. Now he's going to go cross face the head, maybe Turk him, possibly get. He's going to give up on the. Is he giving up on the leg, or is he going to keep going? He might be able to turn him and get some back points here.
And he secured that takedown now. Sandifer up 6-2.
So he's giving up on the Turk. He's throwing the legs in, and looks like he's going to try a bar there, maybe get a tilt.
And it's been all pins thus far from the Eagles. We'll see if Sandifer is able to continue that. So 5 seconds left in this first period.
He ended up that period with a bar and a half, but he could not run it on one side or the other. So Sandifer gets the choice, and he takes down.
Seemed like Sandifer was trying for some offense on top, just not quite able to secure it there near the end of the round, and so he will start this second period on bottom as he's already back up to his feet, and he'll get the escape point, now up 7-2 in this match. Sandifer now trying to work back to the leg.
Yeah, he tried to hit an ankle pick there and ended up sliding off to a single leg. Finished that move very nicely.
Sandifer now goes up 9-2. As he tries to circle around to the front of Ryan. And Ryan now in on the leg of Sandifer.
It looks like Sandifer is going to try a tilt from this position.
And a very interesting position here as Sandifer's leg was kind of hooked by Ryan, and Sandifer just went for the tilt from that position. Not quite awarded the points for it, but
he got a 1 count, almost had a 2 count, but yeah, that was a very interesting position.
It's now Sandifer working on the right side of Ryan. About 45 seconds left in the period. The second of 3 periods.
Sandifer's got a 7-point lead. He needs 1 more, of course, for the major decision. Oh, it looks like he's got a good power half in. Maybe he'll get a count here, but looks like Ryan was able to fight that off.
And Ryan now flattened out. Do you think we potentially see a stalling call soon on Ryan on the bottom?
Yeah, it's possible.
As now Sandifer tries for that crossface. He's just been stifling any defense Cole Ryan has had to offer.
Yeah, Colt's had a hard time moving. I think he's giving effort, but not having much luck. So here we go. It looks like they're going to go neutral.
So that will give Ryan a point. It'll be 9-3 to start this third period, the first third period we've had today. So they battle in the center of the mat, and Ryan shoots in. Sandifer able to sprawl. Might get a stalemate from this position, and we do. And they'll reset back to the center. Minute 35 remains in this bout. And for Sandifer, how big would this major decision be?
Certainly that's what we want to see for the Eagles, but he's got to get that takedown. It looks like he's, it's be interesting to see who comes out of this position. I think it may end up with a stalemate. And
kind
as soon
of
as I
both
say that,
in on the legs, and Sandifer turns back into him, and now might be in a good position for this takedown. Ryan still in on that leg of Sandifer. Sandifer's very close to securing this takedown. Ref still yet to award it to him. And now he'll get the takedown here. Up 11-3. That's the major decision for the moment. 40 seconds remain in this match.
With the way Sandifer was able to ride Ryan in the second period, I've got a feeling he's going to be in control here as long as he is careful and he's got the legs in. He doesn't want to get too high, Sandifer, or he might lose and have to give up an escape.
Sandifer a little high on the back there, has the boots in, but able to sit back now, and he'll try to ride out this remaining 10 seconds and secure the major decision for the Eagles. And Sandifer will be able to do so. That'll put the Eagles up 22-0. Just pure domination thus far by the Eagles. And next we'll move on to 132 pounds. This is the big loss for the Eagles today. Cade Brown will not be wrestling. Instead, it will be Jacob Kyle. And for St. Paris Graham, it will be Brogan Tucker.
Brogan Tucker, the senior state champion, going against the freshman from St. Edward, Jacob Kyle. So this will be an interesting match. And
this is a match that you want to try and take, potentially even get bonus points here if you're St. Paris Graham, with it not going their way thus far, down 22-0. And are there any nerves that come into play when you're a freshman here on this big stage wrestling against St. Paris Graham and a state champion in Tucker?
Well, certainly there's some nerves there, but and you want to perform the best you can. And Jacob did a great job there. He got in on a single. Unfortunately, Brogan Tucker was able to go around on him, but he'll continue to work hard. But once you get out there and you start getting in the match, you're wrestling. The nerves go away, and you perform the best you can. Of course, the room at St. Edward's pretty tough, so I'm sure Jacob's been in a lot of good tussles there in that room.
Tucker riding on top, just under 45 seconds left to work in this first period.
Yeah, he was trying that tilt. Now he's kind of moved that into a bar here. Looks like Kyle's trying to get his arm out of that bar, but looks like
Brogan Tucker trying to work that bar across.
Yeah, Kyle fighting it really hard, not giving up any points.
Doing a great job there is Jacob Kyle.
Yeah, he did a great job fighting off that bar, because Brogan Tucker had that bar in tight and ran it hard. And Kyle fought that off. Looks like he might be giving up some tilt points.
And Tucker goes that tilt and secures 2 points at the end of the round, up 4-0 as we head into this second period. And you mentioned earlier how Tucker had moved from the tilt to the bar. These higher level wrestlers, they'll go to a combination of moves to secure those turns.
They will move in combinations of move and take whatever their opponent gives them. So he went from tilt to a bar and then back to a tilt to get 2 points there at the end of the match.
As now Tucker will roll him through. Now secures the takedown and looking for the back points. And now for the fall is Brogan Tucker. Very close. Kyle trying to fight this off. And it's almost there for Brogan Tucker, trying to secure this. And Kyle fighting as hard as he can. Ref taking a close look at this. And that's the fall for Brogan Tucker, putting the Falcons up on the board here. And that'll take the dual score to 22-6, Eagles.
Unfortunately, when you make a mistake against a high-quality wrestler like Brogan Tucker, you're going to give up some points. And that's what happened with the stand-up. He came up, he cut off and turned in. Jacob tried to keep on that leg, and Brogan was able to secure move and roll him through.
And some excitement, especially from the Eagles side in this gym, for this next wrestler, Ryan Bennett for the Eagles. And it'll be Hayden Hughes, the 2022 state qualifier for the Falcons. Bennett already able to secure the takedown. And Ryan Bennett, this is a wrestler who committed to Illinois. He's a junior now and also a state champion his freshman year at 106 pounds.
As state champion, fourth in the state, solid wrestler. Illinois, he'll do good at Illinois.
And he's already in on another takedown, up 4-1 here, about 30 seconds into this first period. Trying to look for that bar is Bennett. He's going to try to work it across, but almost able to reverse the position was Hughes.
Yeah, Bennett got a little high when he was running that bar. He let Hughes' head come up. He needs to keep that on the mat. And the result ended up Hughes getting an escape after they rolled around some.
And now 4-2 here, just under a minute left to wrestle in this first period. And on a double leg is Bennett. And he secures the takedown for 2, up 6-2. 45 seconds left to work.
Oh, and he's running a bar.
And he's running that bar across. Looking for the back points is Bennett. And now looking for the fall is Ryan Bennett. And somehow able to work out of that is Hayden Hughes.
Yeah, Bennett ended up getting parallel with him, and Hughes was able to roll out of that. I'm not sure what Ryan was doing, but he's back with the bar again, and he's making big steps there, and he's taking him over.
With those 3 back points, Bennett now up 9-2. 5 seconds left in this first period. Now looking for the fall is Bennett. He can't quite get it before the end of the period, but he will secure the 3 back points, and Bennett will be up 12-2 heading into this second period. And it's been very fun action thus far. 4 of the first 5 matches have ended in pins. We'll see if it's the same here from Ryan Bennett, up 12-2. And Bennett on bottom to start this period, and Hughes able to drag him back to the mat. As Bennett now able to work back to neutral position and now trying to get a takedown of his own. That'll put Bennett up 15-2, about 30 seconds into the second period.
Yeah, nice double leg takedown. Came up with the escape right in on the shot again, and now he's got that bar on the left side again. Oh.
And seemingly the move Bennett has gone to throughout this match is that bar. We'll see if he's able to work it again here with just over a minute to work in the second period. And he goes to the tilt now as Bennett. And he'll get the 2 back points for that. And that will be the technical fall there for Ryan Bennett. That'll put the Eagles up 27-6 here as we head into the 144-pound division. And the Eagles have remained on top here early.
Yeah, a minute 55. 3 minutes, 5 seconds into the second period, he records that technical fall.
And we mentioned earlier those top wrestlers with the combination of moves, and Bennett throughout that match had gone to the bar, and then for that last move switched it up, goes to the tilt, gets the technical fall.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
As now at 144 pounds for the Eagles, it will be Lucan O'Brien against Bryce Kohler for the Falcons. As now O'Brien in on the ankle. He's going to try to sweep out the back leg of Kohler here. And he does so. O'Brien up 2-0. Minute 20 remains in this first period of action. Lucan O'Brien working on top as he breaks down Kohler. Kohler, a state qualifier last year in the 2022 season. Lucan O'Brien, however, a very strong wrestler for this Eagles team, took 6th place at the Carnahan Invitational in Indiana just a week before Christmas. We'll see if O'Brien is able to come away with the victory here in this match. 40 seconds remain here in this first period. O'Brien up 2-0. And O'Brien drags Kohler back down to the mat, and this would mean a lot for Lucan O'Brien if he's able to come away with a victory against a state qualifier from last year. Really mean a lot for his confidence.
Absolutely. Lucan's a solid wrestler. Certainly will be able to wrestle this match. I'd like to see him score a few more points, but looks like it's just going to be a battle on the mat for right now.
And we will head into the second period. Lucan O'Brien up 2-0 as time expires on that first period of action. And it will be O'Brien on bottom to begin this second period. We'll see how Kohler is on top. It was all O'Brien in that first period. Now O'Brien back up to the feet and try to break the hands as they roll off the mat, reset back to the center. 20 seconds into the second period, we'll see if O'Brien can get back to his feet and get the escape point. And Kohler trying to drag him back to the mat, able to do so about 30 seconds into this second period. And he's now looking for a turn, tries to go crossface, but O'Brien works back to his base. Now working up to his feet as O'Brien, he secures the escape, up 3-0 here. Minute 20 remains in the second period. And now Kohler in deep on a shot, in on that ankle, and they'll be off the mat and reset back into the center. And for O'Brien, up 3-0 here thus far in this bout, do you think that he's potentially more defensive? Seemingly not, already in on a takedown.
Yeah, two well-matched wrestlers. You have to be very careful here, and he's in on a single right now, but it looks like he could be in trouble here as Kohler is able to fight off that good single leg shot. And
O'Brien now working again on that single.
Yeah, he's back in, and Kohler fighting it off real well. Good defense right here on the edge.
This has been a high-level bout thus far. O'Brien now able to secure the takedown, up 5-0. 30 seconds left in the second period. Right,
and even though O'Brien's up 5-0 right now, every point that's been scored has been contested real hard by both wrestlers. They're both pretty close in talent. They're both wrestling real hard, and they're not giving their opponent anything.
Been a fun, high-level match to watch thus far between these two. Kohler for the Falcons, O'Brien for the Eagles, and Kohler gets back to the feet. 5-1 now, as in a moment time will expire on this second period. We head to the third period. Lucan O'Brien up 5-1. But as you mentioned, it seems like something can change in this match. Just two high-level wrestlers. We'll see what happens in this third period.
Yeah, 2 minutes to go, and I imagine they'll both be on their feet pretty soon. We'll see how well Lucan can ride and maybe get a turn. But
and thinking back to that first period, O'Brien was able to ride out that first period for about the last 30 to 45 seconds, and so he's appeared strong on top thus far. We'll see if he can do so here in this third period.
Right, but he's going to have to be aggressive. I don't think the referee will let him just sit on top. So
Kohler did a good job of working back to the feet, but O'Brien able to drag him down as they wrestle off the mat and reset back into the center. O'Brien now down for a moment on the edge of the mat.
Yeah, it looks like he's injured there, taking some injury time. I'm not sure exactly what happened in that last flurry over there on the edge of the mat. He's holding his neck, so maybe his head hit the mat.
As trainer Brian Warner will attend to him along with Coach Jim Heffernan.
So a minute 30 to go. They're heading back to the center to start.
And it will be O'Brien on top. 5-2 now with that escape point from Kohler, as O'Brien in on that ankle, but Kohler trying to spin around to the back now. Minute 15 remains here in this bout.
Yeah, O'Brien's working that leg. He's been able to drop Kohler on his hip now, and he's working up now. So he might be able to, we'll see. If he can get his ankle free, he's going to score a takedown, I think.
And O'Brien in a good position here on the edge of the mat. O'Brien able to secure the takedown, and the Eagles fans like it. O'Brien now up 7-2 here. Just under a minute remains here in this match. And O'Brien's going to allow him back into neutral position. It'll be 7-3 O'Brien, as Kohler now dives immediately in on a shot. 50 seconds remain here as he tries to kick out the back leg of O'Brien. And Kohler does so, but O'Brien continues to scramble here. Kohler in on the ankle.
We're seeing a reverse of the last takedown that O'Brien got. Kohler's in on the ankle, and now O'Brien's spinning around. So,
and if Kohler can potentially get out the back door, it's kind of in an awkward position here on the edge of the mat. Just 15 seconds remain as O'Brien now looks to change his position and find himself on top, but will get a stalemate call. Reset back to the middle. 8 seconds remain. O'Brien up by 4, 7-3. And O'Brien immediately in on a shot, and time will expire here on this match. Lucan O'Brien comes away with a big victory against a state qualifier, 7-3. Lucan O'Brien. That'll put your St. Edward Eagles up 30-6 here against the Falcons.
Yeah, that was a great match. Well contested. Both wrestlers wrestled hard, fought and contested every point.
Now we'll move on to 150 pounds here, and for the Eagles, that will be Bradley Eaton, who wrestled at 138 pounds last year and took 5th place in the state. And it will be Eli Jacks here for the Falcons.
So Eaton the sophomore, wrestling Jacks the junior.
And Eaton also coming off a state championship in football. We'll see if he's able to get state championship here as well in wrestling, as he tries to sweep out that back leg of Jacks, who tried to roll, and now Eaton on that front headlock. 30 seconds into this bout. Eaton with heavy hips. Now tries to snap him down as Jacks works back to the feet. Still no takedown, and wrestlers work on their feet here. 45 seconds into this first period, and they'll work back to the center. As Bradley Eaton in deep on that shot, able to secure the takedown, up 2-0. Minute left in this first period. Eaton now trying to flatten out Jacks. Eden controlling around the waist of Jax. Jax now working back up to the feet, but Eden trying for the mat return as Jax now in on the ankle of Eden, and he's trying to reverse this position. Eden still in control here. 25 seconds remain in this first period. Jax in on the leg of Eden. He's got that single leg of Eden.
Eden got the crossface in. Jax spending a lot of energy on this, trying to get the reversal.
And Eden doing a good job of getting out of that, and they wrestle off the mat. They'll reset back into the center, just 7 seconds, and we'll see if Eden can ride out this first period. And Jax will try to work to his feet as quick as he can, but Eden quickly breaks him down, and Eden will be able to ride out the first period. He'll be up 2-0. 2 minutes into this match. Bradley Eden got a takedown in that first period, then was able to ride out. He's up 2-0, and he'll be on top here in the second period. Encouraging signs from that first period. We'll see if he's able to ride out this period as well as he begins on top. Jax quickly trying to work back to the feet as he's in on the leg of Eden. Eden now looking for the turn, as now Jax in on the leg of Eden, who got a little high, looking for that turn, and they'll get the reversal for Jax. And then the escape for Eden, 3-2. High action wrestling over on the edge of the mat.
Yeah, good series of moves there. Jax was able to secure the reversal. Eden not giving up, moving quickly to secure the escape, and now they're on their feet again.
Just about 30 seconds into the second period, Bradley Eden remains up by a score of 3-2 here against Eli Jax of the Falcons. As Jax now shoots in on that right leg of Eden. Jax trying to work for this takedown, trying to secure the other leg of Eden, but now Jax lets go of that leg of Eden, and now Eden in on his own single leg shot here as Jax now tries to roll through, and Eden will end up on top with that takedown as they wrestle off the mat. Eden up 5-2 with just under a minute remaining in this second period.
What a great, once again, just like the last match, each guy contesting the points hard. Good series of moves, and Eden comes out the back door to secure the takedown right on the edge of the mat.
And these last two matches, just high-level wrestling, high action. You love to see it here from the Eagles' Nest as Bradley Eden on top here with just 40 seconds remaining in the second period. Up 5-2 against Eli Jax. Jax now getting that leg of Eden. And now in an odd position here, Eden trying to secure around the waist of Jax. Just 10 seconds remain, and we will get a potentially dangerous call there from the referee. They'll reset back into the center.
That potentially dangerous call came at an opportune time. Eli Jax was pretty close to getting a reversal on Bradley Eden here with less than 10 seconds to go in the second period.
And that helpful, potentially dangerous call will set the wrestlers back to the center. Just under 10 seconds remain. Eden gonna try to ride out this period. And he will do so. Bradley Eden will go into this third period up 5-2. As he will be on bottom to begin the period. Eli Jax thus far has wrestled a pretty good match, just not quite able to secure takedowns thus far against Eden, so down 5-2 here in this third period. Eden able to secure the escape, 6-2 now.
Yeah, you really have to you really have to lock up and keep Eaton on the mat. Once he gets to his feet, he's so quick and he moves his feet so well. He's probably going to get the escape.
Now, minute 30 remains here in this final period of action as Eaton tried to work around to the back of Jax, but Jax having none of it there as we're back in the center of the mat. Minute 15 remains in this third period. And this is fun action. Both wrestlers going back and forth here. Becomes close to desperation time here for Jax. Just under a minute remains, down by 4 points. And he secures the takedown now. Eli Jax working on top. 50 seconds remain here in this bout. And this becomes very interesting. Eli Jax down by 2. Working on top, 40 seconds remain. And he's going to try to secure this turn any way he can. So he's now trying to work on that. And he's trying to turn Eaton, and Eaton now trying to belly out. He's very close. Eaton scrambling, moving back and forth. The wrestler, Jax, looking for the points. And there's going to be the end of the match. Bradley Eaton wins 7-4 for the Eagles. They'll go up 33-6.
Yeah, that when Eli Jax had the legs in and got that tilt going, he was looking for some points, but he was not able to keep Eaton still enough to get more than a 1 count. I think he got a 1 count once, and Eaton rolled back and forth and was able to kind of break the hold and get back to his base. And
like
Jax, no points.
Like you were talking about, Eaton just so good at moving around and not staying still on the bottom when he gets back to his feet, when he was in that precarious situation, just able to roll out of it and secure the win for the Eagles. And now we'll move on here to 157 pounds. It'll be Bobby Hopkins for the Eagles.
Yeah, Bobby qualified for the district tournament last year, and he's wrestling a Luke James from Graham, the sophomore, who placed 5th in state as a freshman.
And James now trying to secure this takedown. He does so. Hopkins on bottom here. 30 seconds into this first period. James up 2-0. And Hopkins works back to the feet, and they'll work off the mat. They'll reset back into the center. Minute 10 remains here in this first period. And Bobby Hopkins, the district qualifier, will be on bottom here trying to work back up to the feet. High quality wrestler he's going against here in Luke James. Hopkins now works back to the feet, able to get the escape point. It'll be 2-1 now. About 50 seconds remain here in the first period. And what a crowd we have here this afternoon for some action between your Eagles and the Falcons. Just a great showing out by the Eagles faithful as the wrestlers go off the mat and will reset back into the center. And it's really just been a great weekend of sports we've been able to give you. It's been wrestling today, St. Ed's and Paris Graham, one of the best rivalries in the state. Then last night, a great hockey match between De La Salle and the Eagles, and then also a great basketball match last night between the Wildcats and the Eagles. Great action from the sports teams all this weekend.
I was at the basketball game last night, and it was an electric atmosphere, as it always is when St. Ed's and St. Ignatius go at it in all their sports.
And that will be the end of the first period here, and it'll be Hopkins down 1-2 here as we head into this second period. – And you mentioned that Ed's and Ignatius rivalry. In wrestling this year, they've already gone up against each other. Eagles were able to secure victory 75-6, just always dominant in that match against the Wildcats, at least on the mats.
Yeah, definitely on the mats. I've been to a lot of those, and John Heffernan has not lost a dual match to St. Ignatius. The coach prior to him, Greg Urbis, was also undefeated against St. Ignatius in dual matches. So St. Ed's continues that dominance in wrestling over the Wildcats.
And what an escape there from Bobby Hopkins. The opposing wrestler looked for a turn there, and he was just kind of able to roll out there, and it'll be tied now at 2-2.
Yeah, 2-2 with 1:24 to go in the second period. This is a great match.
And both wrestlers seemingly kind of canceling each other out on the feet here. Hopkins now trying to control that right wrist of James. And they work off the mat. They'll reset back into the center.
And neither wrestler wants to give up any position at all, so they just battle in there for control of the tie-up, so they can set up their shot. And they're doing a good job of battling.
And now in on a single leg is James, trying to work it over to the edge of the mat, and we'll see if they work out of bounds. James trying to drag Hopkins back into the center. Not quite awarding the takedown yet, and the referee gives James the takedown. It'll be 4-2.
And what a great shot by James as they went to tie up. He kind of lowered his level, grabbed the lead leg of Hopkins, and was able to battle after a little bit and score that takedown on the edge of the mat.
And glad to join you here for this wrestling action. Just 30 seconds remain. I'm here alongside Don Murphy. I'm Cody Wagner. And it has been a great dual match to watch thus far between your Eagles of St. Edward and the Falcons of St. Paris Graham. Hopkins now on bottom. 10 seconds remain in the second period. We'll see if he can get this late escape, as James able to push Hopkins off the mat, and we'll reset back into the center. Just 2 seconds remain in the second period. And there will be a caution on James. As that will bring us to the end of the second period. We'll head into this final period of action. Bobby Hopkins down 2-4. He'll be on top to begin the third period. As now James already back up to the feet. Hopkins with the big mat return, able to slam him back down to the mat. Hopkins on top here, 20 seconds into this third period. And now James once again back to the feet. We'll see if Hopkins can drag him back to the mat once again. And it'll be a stalling warning on Bobby Hopkins. As he kind of worked the other wrestler over to the edge of the mat, seemingly trying to work out of bounds.
Yeah, so Bobby Hopkins is in a tough position here, down 2 points. He either had to give up the escape or maybe give up a stalling point. So
now Hopkins down by 3 now with that escape from James. It's 5-2. James is up, and he's able to secure a takedown there. Up 7-2 here for the Falcons. Just about a minute remains here in this match. As James drags Hopkins back down to the mat, they'll work off the edge of the mat and reset back into the center. Just under a minute remains. Hopkins now trying to break the hands of James. He's able to do so. 3-7. Hopkins is down here in this third period. James in on a shot, looking for that single leg, and They'll work off the mat here. 45 seconds remain. The wrestlers work here in the center of the mat. Hopkins going to start with some offense here late in this match. 30 seconds remaining. Wrestlers work off the edge of the mat. Reset back into the center. 25 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Hopkins dropped in a nice single leg, but James was able to fight him off pretty easy there.
James wrestling very well here for the Falcons.
And good defense.
Hopkins able to secure the takedown, drives through, but it won't quite be enough. Hopkins still down 5-7, and time will expire here on this match. A hard-fought match there by Bobby Hopkins, but unable to secure the victory late, as Luke James comes away with the victory for the Falcons, and that'll now make it 33-9. Eagles still remain in the lead. And now we will be moving on to 165 pounds. It'll be the first of the twins, Ty Miller. Ty Miller, the sophomore, wrestled at 150 pounds last year. He was a state qualifier last season. Now this year up at 165 pounds. We'll see what he's able to do here in this match. So he's already in on a shot, able to secure the takedown. He'll be going up against Gunnar Cramblett, the state runner-up from last season for the Falcons. Ty Miller up 2-1 here early. Minute 40 remains here in this first period.
Yeah, Gunnar was also 6 at the Ironman tournament this past year.
So two high-quality wrestlers, and Ty Miller looking for that cradle possibly, but not quite able to secure the takedown. Drove through there and got 2 back points as well, so up 6-2. And Cramblett in on a single, realizing that he's down early against Miller. Miller just wrestling out of his mind here early. Just great action from Ty Miller thus far, up 8-2.
1 minute into the period.
And Cramblett punching the edge of the mat in frustration. 55 seconds remain here in this first period. Ty Miller will remain on top, has looked phenomenal here early. There will be a stalling warning early in this match on Ty Miller as Cramblett secures the escape point. 8-3 now. Cramblett in on that ankle of Ty Miller. And Miller able to get around to the back and secure the 2 for the takedown. 30 seconds remain here in this first period.
Yeah, I'm wondering if, I'm looking at the weighing sheet. This may be actually Cameron Mockby wrestling. So it looks like Graham weighed in at 166. I don't know if they had weight allowance, but certainly is.
And I think that you may be right. I heard one of their coaches say Cam out to the mat. I believe that it is Cameron Maccabee in this match against Ty Miller.
Yeah, I think the scoreboard has it wrong. I think Cramblett's going to wrestle up against JR.
But regardless, Ty Miller has looked flawless here early, up 10-3.
Yep.
In this second period.
Looking very good, very aggressive.
Just heavy on the head now is Maccabee for the Falcons. Maccabee now trying to work to that single leg, but now Maccabee trying to isolate that right leg of Miller. Ty Miller with heavy hips. Now Maccabee has his hands secured behind the butt of Miller. Miller now trying to roll through this position, securing the ankle of Maccabee. As they both are in on the opponent's ankle. A unique position here from both these guys. Not quite sure what's going to happen. We might get a stalemate call, and we do, and they'll reset back to the center. I don't know that I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've seen that before either, and I've seen a lot of wrestling, but they were certainly both in a position where it did not look like they were going to improve. So the referee says, let's go back to the center and start over.
And so we'll be in the center of the mat. 45 seconds remain. And Ty Miller potentially looking for a throw here.
He was not in a great position for the throw, although he was looking at it. But they gave up a shot and almost fought that off.
Maccabee now on top. 20 seconds remain here in the second period. Ty Miller still up by a score of 11-5. As Maccabee tries to ride out the remainder of this period, and he will be able to do so as we'll head into this final period of action. Ty Miller up by a score of 11-5. As now Maccabee tries to work back up to the feet. He secures the escape point there. Miller still up 11-6, 10 seconds into this third period. Miller now shoots back in on a double leg, and he secures the takedown. They're up on the St. Ed's bench as Ty Miller up 13-6. We'll see now if he can work for this major decision. Miller heavy on top here, over on the edge of the mat. Minute 30 remains. Miller just breaking down Cameron Maccabee. Maccabee now trying to work back to his feet, and he's now trying to look for a reversal, and he'll secure the 2 points. On the reversal, Cameron Maccabee now cuts this lead of Miller down to 5. As he's going to let Ty Miller back to the feet. It'll be 14-8 here, 50 seconds remain in this third period. Now working in the clinch are both wrestlers, and now working at distance is Maccabee, who shoots in on that single leg. And Miller trying to wrap up the waist of Maccabee. 20 seconds remain, and there will be a stalemate call. They'll reset back to the center. And Ty Miller shoots in, but now it'll be Maccabee in on that front headlock. As he tries to spin around to the back of Miller, but that'll be the end of the match. Ty Miller wins 14-8.
Yeah, a well-contested match and high-scoring match. Great entertainment.
And that'll put the Eagles up now 36-9. And we will move on to this 175-pound match. And it will be Jarrell Miller against, we were guessing Gunnar Cramblett. It says Joey Mockbee up on the scoreboard, but And now a lot of pushing here early between these two competitors.
Yeah, a lot of energy going.
Yes. And 20 seconds into this match, they work in the center of the mat. Jarrell Miller, a state runner-up in his freshman season last year, was able to secure a national championship in freestyle wrestling, but also in folk style wrestling here, he was able to be a runner-up at Ironman. So Miller, a very high-level wrestler for the Eagles. He's in on this front headlock at the moment. And Miller trying to secure this takedown. Referee not giving it to him quite yet.
Yeah, it looks like he's got the cradle locked up right now.
Let's see if he does. And he does have it locked up. And now looking for the fall is Jarrell Miller. He finds it. Jarrell Miller gives a little what's up to the crowd after that pin. Eagles go up 42-9 here against the Falcons.
Minute 12 into that match. So what a great job working the inside cradle off of that takedown and securing the fall.
And at this point, mathematically impossible for the Falcons to win this dual meet against the Eagles. But we will continue to wrestle on here at 190 pounds. It'll be Johnny Slaper for the Eagles against Chet Manier for the Falcons. Boy, does Slaper look big at 190 pounds. He is a football player, a linebacker on the football team, but also a great wrestler, a state qualifier from last year, took 5th in states. And we'll see how he does here today.
Yeah, these next three Eagles, 190, 215, and heavyweight, were all football players on the team. So they've just been getting back into the room. They've had about a month back there to get some of their wrestling shape back.
Slaper now is trying to go to that tilt, but not quite able to secure the position. He'll work on top here, up 2-0. Minute 15 remains in this first period. Slaper now trying to isolate that far side of Manier as he works now over to the right side. Slaper appears heavy on top here early, not allowing Manier back to his feet thus far. 50 seconds remain here in this first period. And Slaper continues to work on top here, now working around to the front of Manier as he now secures the ankle and is on that front headlock, trying to look for the crossface and the turn. Here is Slaper. Johnny Slaper trying to secure back points, and he'll get 2 for his efforts. Up 4-0. 20 seconds remain in the first period. Slaper now working on that power half. And he's got that position in deep. That's a nasty power half.
Yeah, he's got that in there well. He's going to get 2 more back points.
So Slaper will head into this second period up 6-0. We'll see if it's more of the same from Slaper or if Manier is able to secure some points here in this second period. Slaper will start in bottom position. Slaper now works his base, working back up to the feet of Slaper as he's able to secure the escape. Up 7-0. Minute 50 remains here in the second period. Manier working heavy on the head. As the mouthpiece falls out for Slaper, he puts it back in. Both wrestlers working heavy on the head, trying to secure their position where they can work for their own shot that they're looking for, as Slaper close to that number of 8 to secure a major decision, as He's up 7-0 here. A minute 15 remains in this second period. And 45 seconds through the period, Slaper now on this double leg, trying to work up to the body of Manier. Manier trying to hold tight onto that right leg of Slaper. And Slaper gets the takedown. Up 9-0 here in the second period. Just under a minute remains. And Slaper heavy on top here as he now puts the hook in on the right side.
Yeah, he's getting a little, looks like he's a little high, but he might be able to work that.
And now just going to try to drag him back into his lap and look for back points, but couldn't quite get it from that position. Still 15 seconds remain. Looking for this turn is Slaper. Five seconds remain here in the second period. Johnny Slaper will head into the third period of action, up 9-0. Dominant from Slaper thus far. As they'll start in neutral position, which was the choice by Manier because at this point an escape doesn't do too much for him, down 9-0.
And he probably chose that because he was having a hard time getting away from Slaper. Didn't
Yeah.
want Slaper on top, throwing the legs in. So
Slaper now in on that single leg, trying to secure the right leg of Manier, but that'll be a potentially dangerous call. And yes, like you mentioned, Slaper has just been dominant on top throughout this match, and choice by Manier to just start on the feet in this third period. Slaper heavy on that front headlock. I'm trying to work back to the leg with Slaper, but now Manier is on the back of Slaper, and they'll work off the mat here. 45 seconds into this third period,
Yeah,
Johnny Slaper remains up 9-0.
yeah, Manier did a good job of getting around behind him, but right on the edge of the mat, and they just kind of walked off the mat. So
And now wrestlers working the center of the mat. Double underhooks here for Manier. As now they break that position and they'll continue to work here. 50 seconds left in this third period. Manier tries to dive in on that leg of Slaper, but Slaper heavy on the head. That front headlock there for Slaper. Lets that go. 30 seconds remain here in this bout. It's a major decision as it stands for Slaper, and he'll pick up his mouthpiece here. We'll reset back to the center. 25 seconds remain. And for Slaper, who already has this major decision secured, do you think he just tries to stay here in this position? No, he goes to this single leg takedown here, working on his own offense. He'll try to slam Manier down to the mat. And he gets the takedown. Powerful there from Johnny Slaper.
yeah, Manier got a little aggressive, and Slaper just kind of dropped down, hit a high crotch. Was able to pick him up and score the takedown right at the end of the mat.
And that will be the major decision by Slaper, who won by a score of 11-0. Eagles will now go up 46-9 against the Falcons of St. Paris Graham. It'll be Balin Waugh for the Eagles wrestling against Caden Marshall for St. Paris Graham. As Marshall heavy on that front headlock. Waugh able to work to the back and secure the takedown for the Eagles, up 2-0, 15 seconds into this match.
Yeah, Waugh did a nice job just dragging out of that headlock and going around. to secure that takedown.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't think Marshall expected that short little drag out of that, because he went right down to the mat when Walt was able to perform the move.
And Wah went to that move from that strong front headlock from Marshall. And now Wah working on top here. 45 seconds into this first period, Balaam Wah up 2-0. And what an encouraging sign for this Eagles squad to be up 46-9 heading into this 215-pound match.
2 matches to go, and the Eagles are wrestling very well right now. Looks like the football players are getting some conditioning back. Oh,
Wah now looking for this turn into the fall, and he gives him the fall. And Balin Wah now will put the Eagles up 52-0. Had both shoulders down for just a moment, but able to secure it for the Eagles.
Yeah, he ran that bar and got him right over and got him planted there for 2 seconds. That's all it takes.
We mentioned the absence of Zach Del Santer seemingly has not played a factor thus far with that pin there from Balaam Wah, and we will now move on to heavyweight, as that'll be Nate Gregory for the Eagles wrestling against Caden Barnes here of St. Paris Graham.
Yeah, nice double leg takedown, right, finishing right on the edge of the mat for the other linebackers, Slapper and Gregory, the 2 linebackers on the Eagle football team this past year.
Gregory now working on top here, 20 seconds into this first period. And Gregory clearly appears to be the smaller man here in this match, but it's nice for him to be on top here in this match thus far.
So this is a pretty impressive performance by the Eagles against St. Paris Graham, with no seniors in the lineup for St. Edward, a very young team wrestling. I think there's 5 juniors, and the other wrestlers are all freshmen and sophomores.
And so impressive, a lot of sophomores here on this Eagles team leading the lineup, like Ethan Timar, guys like Adam Butler, guys like Jarrell Miller, that have just been so impressive for the Eagles. This body lock here from Nate Gregory, who's looking for this pin. He gets the fall to end the day. Nate Gregory, and the fans are going wild here in the Eagles' nest. Yeah. Nate Gregory.
That was, went to that bear hug and just muscled him down to the mat. So he won't be able to do that against all the heavyweights, but he certainly was able to do it here to finish the day of wrestling, and with a fall for the Eagles. And wow, 58-9. I did not expect that kind of score for the Eagles.
And that's it from the Eagles' nest today. Eagles win by a score of 58-9. It was great to bring you this action here alongside Don Murphy. I'm Cody Wagner. So long from the Eagles Sports Network.